Hey family, welcome to Winnie School of Elegance. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 15 things that you are doing that's turning men off. Life and dating mistakes that you need to stop making today. Now, this video is strictly for the ladies, but I know that there's some guys who watch this channel. You definitely can watch this video as well, and then leave me a comment in the comment section down below to let me know if the points I'm going to be sharing in this video are accurate. So my dear elegant ladies, you would all agree with me that we need the men folks in our lives. As much as we say that some people say that they don't like or they don't need men, they can do without men and all of that stuff. We definitely still need men in our lives as much as these men need us in their lives as well. And some people are actually finding it difficult to maintain a healthy relationship or even find someone to be in a relationship with because they're making certain mistakes that are turning men off. It is important that you know what these mistakes are so that you can stop making them just in case you make them, so that you can increase your chances of finding a man or a partner. And I'm going to be as honest as possible. We all need men in our lives, period. So mistake number one that a lot of ladies make is being overly desperate, forward, and obsessive. Now, this one is most especially when you first meet a guy or you are in the beginning stages of getting to know a guy or a guy getting to know you. Now, when a woman is overly obsessive, desperate, and too forward, things she would do are calling a guy constantly. Maybe after going on a date with a guy, you find that after you are the one who constantly calls, who is constantly texting, who is constantly wanting to find out what the guy is up to. Constantly, you're just so freaking forward. You want some women, the very first time a guy takes them out on a date, right? They finish planning the whole wedding and they finish planning how many children that they will have with these guys. Why? That shouldn't even be in your head. That happens when you're being overly desperate and just overly obsessive about finding a man, and a man is taking you out on a date for the first time, and in your head you just assume that you are going to be his wife. That's not how it works. Just because a man asks you out on a date doesn't mean that he necessarily even wants to actually date you. He's asking you out on a date to find out certain things about you. So if during the date or after the date you are already acting so forward and obsessive, trust me, he's going to back off and you'll be wondering why he has not reached out to you or he suddenly stopped calling you and all of that. When you first meet a guy, resist the urge to be overly forward and obsessive with him. Practice self-control. Let the man do the chasing. It's their work to chase you. You are the queen. You are the one who should be chased. Even the Bible, Solomon said it in all of his wisdom. He said, he who finds, was it Solomon that said that thing? I don't know. But it's somewhere in the Bible. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. Who is doing the finding? Who is doing the chasing? The man is the one finding. You are just being there, pretty, sitting still, living your life. Let this man come and find you. Stop finding him. Leave him alone. I'm serious. Let him alone. Ladies, the second thing that turns a man off completely is when you are being overly braggadocious about your self-achievements. Now, this one is also especially when you just meet this man for the very first time, or you guys are in the initial stages of your friendship. You are so braggadocious. You want the man to know so well that you have achieved something for yourself, especially if you're a woman of substance who was actually really putting a lot of work to achieve stuff for herself. You're overly braggadocious about your achievements. You say how you achieved that, how you did that, how you were this, how you were that. Keep it to the barest minimum at the beginning stage. No one needs to know all of your accolades, because let me tell you something about the male ego. When a man sees that a woman is an overachiever and then she's very outspoken and very about it, it might put him off a bit, especially because men always like to be the ones who are There's something about the male ego. I'm trying to explain it here. Now, I'm not saying that you should be suppressive of your achievements, or you should hide your achievements because you want to land a man. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when you first meet that man at the initial stage, don't be braggadocious about it. That's not all you should be talking about. Don't talk about it too much. In fact, don't even talk about it at all. Just be about it. Let the man see you being about it. There's a difference between overly being braggadocious about something and when you're just living out that thing and being about it. So don't brag about your achievement. Oh, I've traveled to 10 million countries. No one cares. Don't even talk about it. Let him see your passport and all the visas. Let him be the one to discover these things by himself. But when you constantly blow your own trumpets, oh this, oh that, oh that, oh that, trust me, it puts men off. Especially the men who are very egoistic. Men are egoistic by nature. You cannot change that about them. You cannot change that. Again, I'm saying I'm not telling you to suppress yourself or suppress your achievements just because you want to impress a man or you want to land a man. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's a time and place for everything. Being braggadocious at the initial stages of your friendship or relationship with a guy, trust me, will not keep that man there. I promise you. And even if it will keep him there, it'll probably be just, I don't know. Just try and keep it on the down low, okay? Okay? Good. The third thing that you can do that can turn a man off easily is offering to pay on a date all the time. Now, sometimes women, in a bid to show that they are women of class, of value, of substance and all of those things, they tend to overdo. Let me put it that way. Just because they want to show the guy that they can take care of themselves and they don't need the guy's help, they tend to offer to pay for things, especially when they go on a date with a guy. I am telling you something today. Stop it. Especially if you're dealing with a high value man. And I believe that every woman who's watching me today definitely wants to land a high value man. When you're dealing with a high value man who understands his responsibilities, he will not allow you pay for any dates, especially when you guys are just in the initial starting out phase of the relationship. So when you go on a date with a man, stop offering to pay for things. Men want the opportunity to show you that they can take care of you. When you take away that opportunity from them, you are hurting their ego. And I'm saying this for real, true, high-value men. I'm not talking about the wishy-washy men. High-value men always want to show that their women that they can provide and take and protect them. If you go on a date and take away that opportunity from him, how does he prove to you that he can take care of you? Trust me, he starts to look at you funny. Some men will be spoken and say, oh, don't worry, I'll pay the bill. Some men will keep quiet and are just observing you based on your actions. Don't even ask if you should pay. When a man takes you out, let him pay the bills. It's his responsibility to pay the bills. Let him be him. Stop paying the bills when you go out on a date. Again, I'm saying especially at the beginning stages of a friendship or a relationship, let him be the one to pay the bills. Now, the dynamics can change if you're way advanced in the relationship or if you're even married. Sometimes you can offer to take your man out on a date and pay the bills for him. Still, you definitely can do that. But at the initial beginning stages, when you guys are still getting to know each other, let that man pay the bill. And if the man will not pay the bill, if he shows signs of selfishness, that man is not a high-value man. Okay? The fourth behavior that turns a man off completely is demanding that he pays your transport fare when he invites you out on a date. You see the third point I made about paying on a date and how some women actually want to show that they are women of substance and they want to pay on the dates. This is the time for you to pay and show that you are the woman of substance. Pay your own transportation. Stop demanding that the man in your life or the man who has invited you out on a date pay your transportation. There's nothing classy and elegant about a person or a woman who cannot even handle something as little as her own transportation. Now, don't say, oh, but Winnie, he's the one inviting me out on a date. Why shouldn't he pay for my date? If he's inviting you out on the date and you have agreed to go on that date with him, why should he be the one to pay your transportation? Is he the only one receiving value from that date? Won't you be receiving something of value from that date as well? You're making it look like you're doing the man a favor and the man is not doing you. You're doing the man a favor by going on the date. Like, that's not how it works. If he invites you out on a date and you agree to go on that date, the least you can do is pay your own transportation. Unless the man offers to pay. Unless he offers to pay, don't demand that he pays your transportation. And if you don't have money to pay your transportation, you can just simply come up with an excuse and say, oh, I can't make it today or whatever, for whatever reason. And find a time when you actually have money to go and say, okay, I can make it on so and so day. If you're bold enough, which I do not advise, don't ever tell a man that you don't have money to pay your own transportation. Unless you guys have some form of, have built a closer, tighter bond, then you can now reveal that kind of information. But at the beginning stages, when you're just meeting someone and you really don't know so much about them and they don't know so much about you, revealing that you don't have money to pay your transportation is quite degrading. So don't even reveal that. Just come up with another excuse on why you can't go on that date. And at this point, I would also say something here. Now, this is a little bit off topic. And I'll say this to some ladies who usually are quick to jump on an invite request by a man. So I had this lady reach out to me some time ago, sometimes last year, and she sent me this very long ass email talking about how this man invited her to come to Benin City, and she was in Enugu State, and he invited her to come to Benin City to visit him, that she didn't want to go, but the man pressured. And in the email, what she said there was she eventually went to visit this man in Benin City, and then the man literally gaslighted her or ghosted her. I think ghosted her is the word I'm looking for. He ghosted her and I'm not going to share the full details of the story, but he ghosted her. He didn't even bother giving her transportation for coming there. He didn't even see her. She had to go back to Enugu without seeing the man. Sisters, don't be traveling across country, across states because you want to go and see man. Don't do that. Don't do that. The man should be the one making the move. He's making the first. That's why this is off topic, like I said. If you're going to do that long distance something, that man should be the one making the move to come and see you, not you going to make the move to go and see him. The only time you make a move to go and see a man is if you guys are already in a committed relationship and the man has shown you that he's committed in it and you guys are maybe taking turns to go see each other. But when you're meeting a man for the first time, you're going all the way from Enugu to Benin City to meet a man. Kilo day, are you that desperate though? Please don't ever do that. Don't do that. Let the man be the one who makes the first move when he invites you on that kind of long journey. But if it's a short distance and you guys are within the boundaries of the same location, same states, yeah, you can afford to go meet him wherever you guys decide that you want to meet each other. That's okay. But don't travel across states to go and meet a man. And back to topic, it's tasteless and very classless to demand that a man pays your own transportation. If he doesn't pay it by himself or decide to pay by himself, don't insist on it. And if you don't have money, sit down in your house. Okay? Sit down in your house, dear sisters, and feel pretty. Now, I don't advise that any woman should be without money or shouldn't have money to actually just take care of something as basic as transportation. So I'm going to dedicate a whole video to businesses that my elegant ladies can actually start up from anywhere in the world. I'll dedicate a whole episode just sharing about that and how you can start up a business so that you can start making some money for yourself, okay? I want all my ladies to feel very empowered, okay? The fifth thing that turns a man off completely is having bossy communication skills. So communication that talks a man down, speaks harshly, speaks with so much masculinity. Men are literally always turned off by that kind of communication or conversation style. Under this, you find that you find ladies that are overly rude, overly sensitive, overly aggressive, wanting to superimpose their beliefs when there is a conversation going on. They never just agree. They are always very forceful in their words and never just exhibit or express their feminine side when they are having a conversation. This is a trait that actually turns a man off completely. And if you want a man to stay in your life and you do this thing, it's time for you to stop. Let your feminine side show. Be very, very gentle, soft-spoken, calm, and just communicate in a very elegant way. Sometimes I even do this, like sometimes you can get carried away and you're trying to, especially when you're a passionate speaker. When you're passionate about something and you're trying to communicate that thing, you may come across as forceful. I've actually observed that in myself sometimes. But being very aware and self-conscious of this thing would help you just tone it down a bit when you notice that you're becoming overly passionate or aggressive when you're trying to make a point. There's a very thin line between being passionate and aggressive. A very thin line between being assertive and aggressive. So you need to be very watchful of it so that you are not chasing a man away because you are being overly bossy in your communication style. Okay? The next point that I've put down here on my list that turns men off completely is when you're always available. My dear elegant ladies, no. When he calls you, you are there to pick up the phone on the first ring. He invites you out, you're always there to go everywhere that he wants you to go. You want to do everything he wants you to do. No. Don't be overly available. This sends the very wrong signal to the guy. And the guy might even start to think that because you're always available, you would always be available for other guys and other men as well. So even when you are available and you're not doing anything, find an excuse to be unavailable. Sometimes, once in a while, be unavailable. Be intentionally unavailable. Trust me, men like to chase. There's something about when they chase you and you're proving a little bit hard to get that makes them feel worthy of themselves and make them feel like, okay, they've actually put in work to get your attention. But if you're always there at every call, you're always there to respond to every message. He sends you a message now, 2 seconds after, you're already responding to that message. Like you don't have work. Kai, don't do that. Don't do that. Sometimes, now I'm not saying that there's a very thin line between depriving a man of your attention and saying that you are not available because you're actually really being busy about your life. Because if you're really being busy about your life, you will not say yes to everything the man wants you to do if it's at your own detriment or if it's to your own detriment. So don't deprive him of something just because you want to be mean, but I'm just saying I'm not saying you should deprive him of your attention or your time if you have it, but I'm just saying don't be overly available, especially when you're first meeting this person or you guys are at the beginning stages of the relationship. So be intentionally unavailable sometimes. Don't be too available. If you don't have work, go find work to do. Okay? Go find work. Be busy with yourself. Be busy with your self-growth. Be busy with your self-development. Don't be too available. Now, the next point that I've put down here that puts men off completely is always uploading derogatory images of yourself online. A high-value man doesn't like to share his woman with anyone. So don't think that when you take images of yourself that are very offensive, exposing, that degrades your personality and you post it on social media, you think that a man is going to find you attractive that way. The only people that will find you attractive that way are those thirsty, low-class, low-level men. If you're truly looking for a high-value man, trust me, those kind of pictures will not get their attention. So posting pictures of you maybe this is not me judging anyone. I'm just saying if you really want a high-value man, don't go about posting pictures that showcases the intimate parts of yourself to the public and thinking that you're going to attract a good man that way. No, you won't. I promise you, you won't. You would only attract thirsty-ass men who want you as a sex object. The next one that puts a man off completely is having poor personal hygiene and a poor body carriage. This one is very self-explanatory. Things like having body odor, looking very unkept, not looking put together, smelling, having dirty, scattered, unpolished clothes, and just being scattered. And then, of course, in your body carriage, when you're not sitting correctly, standing correctly, or you just put yourself like, keep it together, ladies. The next point that I've put down here that turns a man off is when you lack good public composure. When you're in public, you're overly loud, you're overly intrusive, you want to speak even when you don't have anything to say, you're not comporting or composing yourself correctly. You find yourself in a group of people and you just want to talk, you want to be the loudest, you want to be the one who gets all the attention. You want to show them that yes, you can talk, you can speak, you can be whatever it is you want to be. That thing puts a man off terribly. Maybe when you go out to a party and then you are dancing and you pull your shoes and you want to dance to show that you can really dance like Buga and all those things. No, keep it together. A value man likes his woman well kept and well put together. So compose yourself very well, both publicly and privately, okay? The 10th point that I've put here that turns a man off completely is lack of effort. You don't put any form of effort in contributing anything of value to the relationship. You are just there, effortless. You don't make a move. You don't show that you can be valuable to the man. So you think that the man is there as your father to be responsible for all your needs, all your problems, everything about yourself. You want to heap it on the man because you feel like, okay, he who finds a man finds a good thing. You are joking. The man is not your bank. He's not when you first meet him, don't get me wrong, when you first meet him, he's not supposed to take on all your problems and handle everything for you. No, that's not true. That's not okay. Don't do that. He's not supposed to do that for you. So you as well, as much as you want someone who is going to be there for you and be all that, he also wants somebody who's going to be there for him as well. So if you're not making any effort to show that you can also be valuable to him, because he's also looking to be sure that you are going to be valuable to him. So if you're not making any efforts, he's going to kick your ass to the curb and he's going to be unapologetic about it. I trust my high value men. I'm sure they're watching. The next point on my list for what turns a man off is a high level of disorganization. So a man comes, in fact, when I actually interviewed a couple of men to get this point, though. These are not things that are coming out of my head. I actually interviewed men. And I remember when the man who told me about this point was trying to explain the point to me, he says something like, he goes to see his girlfriend and maybe he goes unannounced and he knocks on the door and he can hear a lot of happening inside the house. Like he knows that the girl is very scattered and she's just trying to arrange everywhere before he comes in. He said one day he actually caught her in it and she was so very shocked, and that's one thing that puts him off. But of course, I don't know what happened in the relationship, but he was just trying to make me understand that he doesn't like a woman who is disorganized. So if you're a woman who is disorganized, your house is disorganized, your car is disorganized, your bag, even your handbag is disorganized, you are disorganized. It turns men off completely, I'm telling you. So keep things classy, ladies. Learn to be organized, okay? The 12th thing here that I've put down on my list is you're never on time for any appointment. You always are late for every single thing. He invites you on a date, you're late. He invites you for a cup of tea, you're late. He invites you to hang out with his friends, you're late. And your excuses that don't even make any sense. You are maybe taking too much time to dress up, or your makeup is taking too long. It's just something that's an excuse. It puts men off, and it actually sends the wrong impression that you're never on time about anything. And then even when you're late, you don't even give a good excuse as to why you are late for that appointment. That's not okay. If you are that person, make the effort to be on time when you've made an appointment or when you've booked a date with a guy. Okay? The next point that I've put down here is when you have too much makeup on. So you're going on a date or you're going on an outing and you feel like, oh, let me put 10 bottles of foundation on my face so that I can cover every freckle, No, keep the makeup classy. Keep it very men, I'm telling you the truth, men, real men, high value men, they even want you without makeup. I'm telling you the honest truth. They prefer you without makeup. But I can understand that makeup makes us feel comfortable, helps us cover up some blemishes on the face, which we may not really want to show. I can understand that. So if you must make up, keep it minimal, to the barest minimum, especially when you are going out with your guy. Okay, thank you. Now, the next point that I've put down here on my list that turns men off completely is when you are overly glamorous with a sassy behavior. This screams high maintenance, high maintenance, high maintenance. I'm so high maintenance. You're going to spend a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort maintaining me. I'm high maintenance. That's what it screams. I'm telling you, men tend to be put off by this. Now, I'm not in any way telling you that you shouldn't be yourself, okay? But imagine that you are going to meet a man for the first time and then you're so glamorized, like you are actually going on a red carpet, for a red carpet event. Makeup on flick, hair on flick, outfit on flick, like you're bugaing with your everything. Like, no, don't do that. Tone it down a bit. Get to know the man first. When you get to know the man first and the man has gotten to know you a bit, so that he's not judging you based off of your physical appearance. He's also judging you based off of what she knows that you're mentally or emotionally capable of. Because when you are I'm serious, this one is actually like, you're going to see a guy and then you are overly made up, you're overly glamorized, like with your outfits, with your hair, you look like on your body you are actually like maybe made up of $10 million. You have tone it down a bit, okay? And the final point that I've put down here on my list that puts a man off completely is a lady who is very dull and boring. I know ladies who can be very expressionless. They go out with a guy, they are not laughing, like they lack enthusiasm. They are just, okay. Yes. They're giving one-line responses. No, like the guy is even trying to have a conversation with them. They can't have a conversation. They're just there. Okay. No. Yes. Fine. No. Haba. Don't do that. And this is especially common with ladies who are a bit shy, who are introverted. There's nothing wrong with being, let me not lie to you. There's something wrong with being shy. Work on your self-confidence. There's nobody that should be shy. I have a video here that helps you. It's a video on how to build your self-confidence. I think you should go and watch that video. You should not be shy. Be bold enough to speak. Be bold enough to express yourself. And don't just be there boring and dull and expecting the man to carry the entire conversation. He's not going to come back again. No. I'm telling you now, sis. He won't come back. So you better go and fix your shyness. Open up and express yourself. I'm not saying be overly loud, but still be able to contribute and talk and express yourself. Express yourself. Laugh. Cry if you must. Okay? Alright? That's all that I have for you for today's video. If you ladies have more things that you know that puts a man off or turns a man off, please share in the comment section so that we can all continue learning from there. And then of course, if you're a man watching this and there's something that I didn't mention that puts you guys off, also please do not forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below so we can all continue learning from there. I'll see you all next time in another video. Until then, remember to stay elegant.